29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21.
The Cardinal has landed.
Live from the beautiful Ball State campus, welcome to The Call. Fresh from running across the country all the way from Los Angeles and his career as an award-winning television producer, put your hands together to welcome Dwight Smith.
Thank you, everybody, so much for that amazing welcome. It makes the 4,292,000 steps I took to get here worth every single one. I am so thrilled and honored to be here with all of you tonight, celebrating everything Ball State. But before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge all of you in the studio audience, as well as those of you who are watching on our live stream across the country and all over the world. Thank you for being here tonight. Part of celebrating this wonderful university includes celebrating you. Because of your unwavering support, Ball State is able to achieve the great things it is doing today. So thank you so much. All of us share a special connection to this place and to each other. My connection to Ball State began long before I was a student. I am a member of a 3-generation Cardinal family. It started with my parents. They met at Ball State, where they fell in love on our beautiful campus. And I grew up in Muncie with Ball State virtually in my backyard. My dad took me many times to basketball games and football games my entire childhood coming up. And so one of the earliest pieces of music that I can ever remember hearing is the Ball State fight song. They wanted more. Okay, that's tomorrow. Tonight's event is a nod to one of Ball State's most famous alums, David Letterman. Now, while I've never had the pleasure of meeting Dave, I've always admired him a great deal, and I've always felt we have a lot in common. We both are Cardinals, we both work in the entertainment business, and we both got our start in broadcasting at WBST, Ball State's classical radio music station. Now, WBST typically took itself very seriously, and Dave, as I'm sure you can imagine, did not. So it should be a surprise to no one that Dave ended up getting fired for making fun of classical music on the air. For the record, I did not get fired. But like any great comedian, Dave got the last laugh because the radio station is now located inside the David Letterman building. But Dave's story is only one of many that make up our Ball State family. I'm sure each of you has your own touching, funny, transformational Ball State story, your own story of beneficence. Here are just a few.
Beneficence means giving back, doing good, helping other people. There's a word in Hebrew called taki olam, which means healing the world. And I think that's what beneficence means to me, doing what you can to heal the world.
The beautiful woman is handing out jewels from her jewel box. And it's symbolic that this is what the university does. It gives to its students.
And her wings are spread wide and her hands are held out. And that is a welcoming and an invitation to join her in doing good works, in giving back.
When I give a gift to Ball State, it feels like there's just a sense of purpose, a sense of this is going to something that is going to be of profound importance to a department, to a certain organization.
The wonderful thing about philanthropy is it makes the giver feel good.
I'd say giving to Ball State makes me happy. It's about supporting something that I love. It's about making it better, and that brings me a lot of joy in helping others and in helping a great institution that I believe in.
To give to an organization where, first of all, I've 100% bought into President Murren's vision and his passion for what can happen at Ball State and in the city of Muncie.
The values of beneficence really drive the culture at Ball State.
Where can I make the greatest impact with the measure of just time, energy, even monetary giving back that I can do?
I hope I don't get emotional about this. Oh dear. I do believe that we need to help students bridge that financial gap so that their Ball State experience is free from anxiety and worry.
I still feel the lasting effects of being that student who benefited from scholarships like the Weidinger Scholarship through the Honors College. That has really thrown me into this trajectory of now being a nurse.
I feel really privileged to have met so many students who have benefited from the philanthropy of so many donors to the university.
It's a joy to receive letters and thank yous from recipients.
The experience of getting to interact with folks over the years just brings us so much joy and connection.
It seems like every time I'm trying to repay Ball State for all the wonderful things they've done for me, I end up owing them more because they do more for me.
When I first got engaged, there was a gentleman who was a trustee here at Ball State, one of my fraternity brothers, Mr. Hollis. And he kind of leaned on me and said, so when you coming back? And I said, well, I'll be back next year. He says, no. When you coming back to serve? He says, I'm getting old. I'm getting ready to retire. And it's your turn now to step up.
I do believe that the underlying philosophy at Ball State regarding philanthropy is always trust. And I think that's earned by doing what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, and meeting the metrics of the donors.
Why we continue to give to Ball State and why others continue to give to Ball State is because it is under great leadership.
I mean, Ball State is making an impact beyond these walls.
We hope our commitment helps other people think about the possibility of giving gifts to the university.
It's an invitation. Don't pass up the opportunity for that invitation. There's a reason why you're being presented with these words of encouragement from various alumni.
If you can make a gift that changes the trajectory of somebody's life, I feel very fortunate to be able to do that.
Chirp, chirp.
I actually got to see this video and the other videos you'll be seeing tonight a little earlier, and I got to be honest, I got a little emotional. And it actually instilled me with a tremendous sense of pride and excitement for the work that this university has done, is doing, and is going to do in the future. And I hope this whole evening has that impact on you as well. Tonight, we have a terrific show planned for you. You're going to get to hear from faculty, students, alums, supporters, and even our very own President Mearns. We're going to celebrate our accomplishments as an institution of higher education and dream about how we can make the Ball State experience even better for our students, our faculty, our staff, and our community. To get things started this evening, it is my privilege to introduce our house band. That's right, we have a house band. So let's hear it for the Ball State University Studio Bands led by Cassius Goins. Thank you, Cassius. You guys are killing it. Let's now jump right into things by talking about a very special program that is happening here on our campus. The Ryan Family Navigator Program is a life-changing initiative that is making its impact felt in very meaningful ways. Let's take a look as some education students reflect on what being part of this program means to them.
Getting a college education to me, it means a lot more because growing up, I didn't know if I could go to college.
Just going to college is like breaking those generational curses that a lot of kids that look like me go through.
The Michelle and Jim Ryan Family Scholarship is the result of the largest philanthropic gift given to Teachers College for students to receive full ride scholarships for those who chose teaching education majors.
What drew me to apply for the Navigators program was the simple fact that I would be around like-minded people who want to give back and teach.
I knew that I wanted to be a part of a program that wanted to build me up as a teacher.
I received this email over the summer, knew nothing about it. And honestly, when I got the email, I was like, this isn't real, wrote it off. And it wasn't until I looked into it, began to fully grasp this is a real opportunity, that I learned what the Navigators program was. And then I was still, even after learning about it, this can't be real. People don't just get opportunities to chase their dreams.
Navigator program is to support and assist students to leverage and maximize the existing resources here on Ball State's campus.
The scholarship was more than just the money. They actually care about us as students of Ball State, especially students that have a story, students that probably came from nothing and then had this opportunity to come to college with the blessings that they give us.
And it wasn't until I finally got here and I sat in a room with the other scholars that I realized really what the program was about, and how it was about helping other people, and how it was about bringing educators who wouldn't have been able to chase their dreams in college, being able to breathe while doing it. And now it's affording them that opportunity to breathe.
Getting a college education, to me, it means everything. It's a real honor, a real privilege to be able to go to class and to say I can do this.
And so graduating college is like that milestone that many people in my family couldn't even think about.
I love the work that I do with the students because it's an opportunity to have a transformative impact in the students' lives.
Now we have the opportunity to truly chase what we want to do and not be burdened about anything besides our studies, our dreams, our goals.
We are joined this evening by three people who are instrumental in the creation of this innovative endeavor. Michelle and Jim Ryan, who are the named benefactors of the program, and Dr. John Anderson, the inaugural director of the Ryan Family Navigator Program. Come on up. Michelle, Jim, Dr. Anderson, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. So, Michelle, why don't we start off? Tell us about the idea behind the program and how did it get started?
Well, Dwight, I think to explain the reason we started this program is you have to understand my passion for education, and fortunately Jim jumped in and joined me on that journey. I always wanted to be a teacher. There was never any thought about anything else I wanted to do. So I started looking around for universities and where I wanted to go to school, and I never found any place that just seemed to click for me. So in what I call a rare moment of maturity for a 17-year-old, I went to see the superintendent of schools in the community where I lived in Illinois and explained to him what I wanted to do. And without any hesitation, he looked at me and said, "You need to go to Ball State." So I came and looked at Ball State, and it clicked.
I love it. And so did that dream of becoming a teacher come true?
Sadly, no. So I graduated in 1981. I graduated in 1981, and we were in the middle of a very difficult recession. So a lot of teachers were either being laid off or they just weren't hiring teachers. So I knew I had to go out and reinvent myself, and that's exactly what I did. and I ended up in a career in human resources. And Dwight, I will tell you that I did a lot of training and development in employee relations, and learning how to write a lesson plan or understanding classroom management skills really, really helped me in that career. And if any of you in here are teachers, I'm sure you understand that.
But Dwight, she always has kept her hand in education. She reads about it all the time. She's always involved in our kids' classrooms and our kids' schools. And she's always been involved in community education projects. So while she didn't formally get a job as a teacher, she has always had her hands in education.
So when I stepped back from my career, as Jim's career progressed, I stepped back, stepped out of corporate America. But I had the opportunity to start doing some substitute teaching, which I just absolutely loved. And as our children got older, it allowed me then to take it a little bit further. And I started tutoring at an inner city school in Chicago, in probably one of the toughest neighborhoods in the city. And that's when I started to realize that these kids just need a chance. They need good teachers, and they just need a chance. And so that's a little bit how we kind of got the program going.
So these kids on our program, they come to Ball State with a lot of challenges. They're all high financial needs. Almost all of them have been working at home to provide some income to their family. They're also helping out a lot at home. It may be driving siblings back and forth to school, helping them with homework, doing a lot of other things around the house to help out the family. So when they leave home and they come to school, they don't leave those challenges at home. Those challenges are still there, but now they have to deal with those challenges from a distance. Throw on top of that, coming to school, and most of them are first-generation college students, come to school, show up on campus in a very unfamiliar environment. They really need a support system.
Yeah, that's amazing that you...
And that's where Dr. Anderson has come in.
Well, okay, let's talk to Dr. Anderson. Tell us a little bit about your work in developing the program.
So I'm an educator at heart, and my career trajectory has been, I've either come into situations where I've needed to breathe life into like a hopeless situation, or I've come into situations where nothing's been built, and I have the opportunity to build from scratch. And that's what really drew me to the Ryan Family Navigators program. And so in developing the program, one of the things that is important to me, particularly when you're talking about donors, is to understand very clearly what the donor's intent and passion is behind the gift. And so even before I ever met Michelle and Jim, I requested to read the proposal. I asked the folks in Foundation, hey, tell me a little bit about them. And so I really wanted to understand that. And 2021, around this time, homecoming week, Michelle and Jim came to campus, and that was the first opportunity that I had to meet them, and they met with the first cohort of Ryan Scholars. And I really locked in on Michelle, and just as she was describing to you about her passion for teaching, and when she got to the point where she talked about she didn't make it to the point where she had her own classroom, I really felt that. And so, designing a program, I wanted to make sure that Michelle's passion, her character in terms of an educator's heart, was translated and infused into our service delivery. In the video, you saw that they were kind of flipping the book back. That was a result. There's a project that was done with the scholars because Michelle and Jim had come back in the spring when we do our end of year scholars banquet, and I asked Michelle to have words, and she donated a book that one of her Ball State professors had given her, and it really impacted her. And she spoke about the book with such affinity. And I said, educator's mind. I said, okay, we're going to translate that into a reflective teaching exercise. And so I knew at that moment that when they came back to campus, we were going to give her book back, And we were going to give her a remix of that book, which is what you saw in the video. We're going to give her a remix of that book of each of the scholars' reflections, taking our cue from the book that she had given us. So it's important, I think, in terms of ethical program design to understand the intent behind the gift, infuse the intention that the donor has into the gift, and let that play out in the program design and service delivery.
Michelle, did you get your book back?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I did get my book back, and I did get the remix book, and I will tell you, it brought me to tears. It was so well done, and it was the students sharing their stories, and it was just great.
That's great. Now, Jim, Michelle, when somebody decides they want to give back, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. There's a lot of different options. So why did you choose Ball State?
Well, I think most people would think it's because I'm a Ball State alum, and obviously Ball State alum from Teachers College, which is part of it. But really what it came down to is the Teachers College here is a very special place. The faculty here is phenomenal. The programs that they have, the research that they do is just very top-notch and sets it apart from a lot of other teachers' colleges within other universities. So that was one of the main reasons that we decided to come back to Ball State and put the scholarship together. But secondly, as we walked the halls, we noticed that a lot of the professors had signs up in their offices that said, "I'm first gen," meaning I'm first generation, or I'm first gen too. So it was very clear to me that these faculty members had a great relationship with their students, and if you were a first generation student, there's a professor you could go and talk to who had your same experience, and that was really important for us when we walked the halls and saw that.
That's great. The work you're doing is remarkable. The program is inspiring. It's been amazing to hear about it. So Michelle, Jim, Dr. Anderson, thank you so much for being here with us and telling us all about the program. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks. Inspired by the vision and mission of our founders, Ball State is guided by the 7 enduring values that Beneficence represents. These values have been part of our heritage for over 100 years, and they will guide us in the next 100 and beyond. Tonight, we've invited Ball State alums to talk about how these values have influenced them. I'm excited for you to hear their philosophical, moving, meaningful, and even funny stories of how these values have shaped them. First up is Betsy Ross, class of 1972. Betsy is the president of Game Day Communications and a sports broadcaster. She will be speaking about excellence. Betsy?
Dwight, thank you so much, and thank everybody for being here tonight. What a wonderful evening to celebrate Ball State University. As you mentioned, I have been very fortunate to have a career in sports, and when you work in sports, you get to meet some awesome people along the way. And several years ago, I had the opportunity, the honor, to interview Billie Jean King. And after the interview, I shook her hand and I said, "Listen, I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but I just want to thank you for going through everything that you went through and doing everything that you have done to allow me to do what I'm doing now in sports." And she said, "That's great, but let me ask you something. How do they treat you here?" And I'd never had anybody ask me that. How do they treat you here? And so I told her, I'd been in that market for some 20 years. I grew up with the guys that I work with. They know my work. They respect my work. And so, yes, they treat me very well. And she said, "Good. Pay it forward and pass it on." And those words really resonated with me. I know that I have had so many opportunities because of my time here at Ball State. And I'm sure so many of you are the same way. But just having the opportunity and just graduating is not excellence in and of itself. What is excellence is making sure that the next generation comes up and has those same opportunities. One of my colleagues at ESPN was Pam Ward. Pam Ward was the first female at our network to do Division I college football play-by-play, worked the Big Ten. And I asked her one day, I said, "How does it feel to be a trailblazer?" And she said, "It's hard to be a trailblazer when there's no one behind you on the trail." And so now I think it's our time to take a look back at that trail and see who's behind us. Because it's wonderful to be the first female partner in your law firm or the first in your family to graduate from college. But don't be the last and don't be the only. Our call to beneficence means that we have the chance to really look at what we owe this university and how we can pay it back with our time, our talents, and our gifts. And in that way, this next generation can come up and have all the benefits and all the opportunities that we were able to enjoy here. So pay it forward and pass it on. And that, I think, is excellence at Ball State University. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Betsy. Next up, Jill Lacey, class of 1992. Jill is the president of the Lacey Foundation and the proud mom of a Ball State student. She is speaking about innovation. Jill?
Thanks, Dwight. So back in the day when I was looking about where I was going to college, what brought me to Ball State was this innovation in a human performance lab because I was an exercise science major. However, when I came to campus, what this 17-year-old thought was really cool were the heated sidewalks. So don't judge me. I'm from Chicago, and I had to shovel a lot. So as my kids grew up and they were college shopping, I always asked, do you have heated sidewalks? I didn't think so, until finally my youngest was smart enough to come to Ball State University. Yes. So he is currently a junior here and a media major. And so much has changed since my time on campus. The physical campus has just changed and grown dramatically. And even things inside those fabulous new buildings. So my son, as a media major, decided to live in Botswin, which is the communications, living, learning community. We didn't have these back in the day. But so when we went to see his residence hall when he moved in 3 years ago, they have green screens in there. They can rent out their equipment, and they even have a restaurant-style shot. So they could produce a TV show right there in the residence halls without even having to put shoes on. This is just amazing. What wonderful, wonderful innovation. But the thing I remember most when I was a student here is I had a wonderful advisor, Kay Bales, who is now retired from Ball State, and she taught me the ability to be innovative is the ability to try new things, and it's okay to fail. So what I learned is Ball State is a safe place to fail, a safe place to try new things, to be brave, to pick yourself up when you stumble, to learn from those failures, because quite honestly, that's the definition of innovation. You don't know what's going to work until you try it. So that is what I believe innovation is for me at Ball State.
Thank you, Jill. You know, a lot of things have changed and continue to change on the Ball State campus, certainly since my days. Sadly, the flying tomato and kazoos are long gone from the village. However, I am incredibly excited about the university's ambitious new plans to revitalize the village. Yes, that deserves applause. It's going to be epic. Schumann Stadium has been upgraded and now seats over 23,000 Cardinals. Technology touches almost every aspect of the campus, and speaking of campus, it continues to evolve and is more beautiful now than ever before. So we thought you'd like to meet a few students to learn more about campus life today, so please help me welcome Peyton Romig and Alex Buxton. Peyton, Alex, welcome to the call. Peyton, I understand you are the Air Jam chair, and Alex, you are the campus relations chair for homecoming. So thank you both for being here because I know this has been a very busy week. How has it been going? How's this homecoming week been?
It's been a busy time for sure, but now we're on the tail end of what's been a very successful week, so I'm just beyond proud of all the work that the committee's put into this. I see a few of them back there, so I think it's been a great time.
Great. Alex?
Yeah.
It's been a blast. I mean, really exactly what Peyton said. It's been a very busy week, but we're very excited for tomorrow to wrap everything up.
Absolutely. So let's go back to the beginning and dig into your Ball State experience. Peyton, why did you even decide to come to Ball State in the first place?
So Ball State for me was always one of my top choice universities, primarily because we have an outstanding theater program here. And I felt like every other university that I was touring, it was really, you live and breathe your major, and that was it. There was no time outside of classes or rehearsals to really make an impact on campus. But every time I visited Ball State and talked to faculty, staff, and current students, really I found out that there was possibility for that balance. I was able to join outside extracurriculars, get involved with homecoming, get involved with the foundation, things like that. So really striking that balance is what sold me.
Nice. Alex, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm from Daleville, so I'm from the Muncie area. So I always grew up around Ball State. My sister went to Ball State. Really, actually any of my family members who've gone to college went to Ball State. So it was I was always encouraged to, but they never said I had to. And I wasn't exactly sure for a while. I wanted to at least explore a little bit, and I finally took a campus tour, and I really liked it. Daleville's really small, like 60-something people in my graduating class. So I thought it was the perfect size, where I would have independence but not be overwhelmed. And then I was really cemented in my decision when I got the Emmons Scholarship. So I'm an Emmons Scholar. The year I got it, it was 10 incoming freshmen. It's now 15. But doing that allowed me to live on campus, which then I got to be really involved and do homecoming and everything after that.
That must have been an amazing moment. So tell me, what was the moment when you found out you were an Emmons Scholar?
So I was in my high school English class, and I knew it was the last day before Dr. Emert was going to call us. And I remember I got a call, and it was the area code for Muncie. It was 765. And I looked at my English teacher, because she actually wrote a letter for my scholarship. And I looked at her, and I was like, this is it. And I think I said, I need to leave. And I walked outside. And then after that, I walked back inside, and I kind of walked over to her, and I told her, and then she kind of started yelling. And then I walked out and called my parents.
That's amazing. What a great moment. Peyton, what are your plans for the future?
So I came into Ball State feeling very confident about, for the rest of my life, I want to direct, I want to tell stories, this is what I want to do. And since coming to Ball State, really, the staff and faculty have really helped me hone in on how I specifically want to go about doing that. So ideally, I really want to start my own nonprofit organization and teach young artists how to produce and create their own work. And kind of similarly to Alex, really, with the help of scholarship, I've been able to really focus on, training for those future aspirations. I've been fortunate to receive scholarships such as the Martha De Laurentiis Scholarship and the Strother Scholarship. And with those opportunities, I've been able to focus more on my professional development as opposed to chasing paychecks.
I love that your time at Ball State has helped inspire your career to involve helping people. That is pretty remarkable. And it obviously ties into one of the hallmarks of our university, which is beneficence. So can you talk to me about what are your thoughts on beneficence?
So to me, beneficence has always been about generosity, the generosity that really goes hand in hand with this campaign. It's a call to give back to this university and really maintain that kind and generous spirit that goes with it. The world can be a very dark and scary place sometimes, and so me as a student, I just think it's so inspiring that there are individuals out there who see it as a worthy investment to invest in future leaders like Alex and I.
And Alex, how about you? Your thoughts on beneficence?
I think I've always used community. Talking about scholarships, really anything, I felt like I was always supported by people from the start. From scholarships, the Emmons Scholar family, I think a lot of them are here. It's a very close-knit family. We all have an event every semester. We get to talk to each other. And even just the other community being from the residence halls, which is kind of where I got my start getting involved, our colleges, and all the different clubs we have. There's always somebody to support you. So I think community was the most important thing for me.
That's great. Beneficence is personal, everybody, and it can be interpreted in so many different ways, so it's great to hear what it means to both of you, so thank you for sharing that. Alex and Peyton are just two examples of the terrific students currently attending our university. There are so many others who are blossoming and succeeding in their dreams each and every day. We've got a video that shows off a few of our students in action, learning the skills that will help them spread their wings and fly. Let's take a look.
Who are we? Ball State! I said, who are we? Ball State!
Hi, my name is Boston, and I'm a student videographer that's been helping make all the videos we've seen tonight, and we wanted to make a video showcasing what students get up to, so let's check that out now.
I'm with my Honors 100 class. Say hi, everyone. Hello. We're at DOMA. We're going to be walking around.
Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp. Say it again. Chirp, chirp. Give me a chirp, chirp.
Hey guys, so currently I'm sitting outside of Schumann Stadium and I just finished with the Emmons dinner. The committee always puts on a nice dinner for all of the Emmons scholars, the recipients, and then the donors as well.
Hi, so I'm about to go into the Delta Sigma Pi professional networking event to kind of go over what all of the exec positions do. So let's head right ahead in. Opening night of the amphitheater. So I just got done with one of my dance marathon meetings for Ball State Dance Marathon.
Who has seen me at my worst and my best here on campus? 100%, it's Benny. Here she is in all of her glory.
Okay, first of all, I had no idea there was a water ski club. That's amazing. I love it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm also exhausted watching that and also excited by watching that as well. Clearly, our students have the energy and the drive to take on the world. Peyton, Alex, thank you both so much for being here. Congrats on a great homecoming week, and good luck with everything. It's always terrific to meet Ball State students. They are our future, and clearly our future is in very good hands. And now it's time to hear a few more stories about our enduring values. Next up, Hollis Hughes, a 1965 graduate, former member of the Ball State Alumni Council, Foundation Board of Directors, and University Board of Trustees, and longtime supporter of the university. He is speaking about integrity. Hollis?
Thank you. I came to Ball State in 1961 as a freshman, and it had a dark side to it. The Ball State that I attended at that time was a segregated institution. Residential housing on campus was segregated. Now, I know I'm supposed to talk about integrity, so you're asking, okay, what's this about? Well, I need to take a few minutes to tell you a bit about that journey, because as an 18-year-old freshman here at Ball State, I arrived and went over to student housing and asked about service, about living in a dorm. And they said, I'm sorry, but we don't have any room for you. The policy at Ball State at that time was that if they didn't have a match for a black student, there was no place for you in the dorm. But the gentleman in the housing office handed me 25 pages of residential units located throughout Muncie, and he said, here, take this list, and you'll have to go out and find someone who will read to you. At 18, I took the list, and I'm sure my face must have dropped. As I headed for the door, he said, "Wait a minute, Mr. Hughes." He said, "Here, you can keep that list, but let me give you a shorter list." And he gave me a list of about 10 pages. And he said, "This housing is further away from campus, but it's out in the black community." He says, "If you take the other one, you'll probably get embarrassed. You may even get insulted, and it might be a little dangerous out there." So I took the other list and went off into the black community looking for housing and found a really lovely place with a great family for my freshman year. I've thought about what was obviously an act, I thought, of kindness. You know, he could have let me go out there and wander around, but he gave me this list. And I thought about it, and it was more than just a simple act of kindness. This was a powerful statement of integrity. This man's job was to help students find safe, decent, and secure housing and approved housing. And he did his job. He saved me the embarrassment and made it safe for me, and I found housing. An act of integrity. I've thought about the many experiences I've had with Ball State and similar acts of integrity. They're sort of like blessings. We don't realize that we've had them until after they're over. You know, I had this interesting experience of being invited to participate in the Alumni Council, the Alumni Club in Michiana. And I thought, do I really want to waste my time with those white folks? You know, they probably don't want to be bothered with me either. But I thought, okay. I talked with a couple of guys, and they said, "No, we really want you involved." There was integrity in their invitation. They sincerely wanted me to be involved. I was involved with that group, and the next thing I knew, I was invited to the Alumni Council. And Linson and Shipley were great guys. They saw to it that I was very much involved. Not only was I at the table, people at the table listened. I had a voice, I was heard, and I was a part of it. I got to deal with some of the things that I could do to make sure that other kids coming later didn't have to go through the experience that I went through. I didn't change the housing policy. Fortunately, the laws changed, because that was, in fact, the law of the land. The city of Muncie was segregated. Governmental housing was segregated. There was nothing I could do about that. I had to laugh when a student once asked me, "What'd you do about it? What'd you think?" I just had to laugh about it. There wasn't much to think about in those days. But as you look around this campus, look at the beauty. People in buildings and grounds have integrity. They do not just their jobs, they make this place beautiful. That's integrity. They say they're doing their jobs. It's an act of integrity. In the classroom, faculty members touch the lives every day of students. They go out of their way to do the extra things. They get paid to teach. They get paid to be nice to students. But it's the integrity that you find. I've known lots of Ball State administrators over my 10 years as a trustee. And what's been special about this place, and what is still special, is the integrity of the people that we hire to lead, develop, and to teach our young people. Our current president is an outstanding example of that kind of integrity. So integrity is an integral part of Ball State, and it always will be, as long as we're conscientious and careful about the people we bring here. And I thank all of those, the trustees and the current administration, for the job that they're doing to instill integrity in this institution.
Hollis, Ball State has clearly benefited from your wise leadership and your integrity. Thank you very much. So far, each of our alums has talked about only one enduring value. Our next alum cannot be contained by just one. He's going to talk about two. Inclusiveness and social responsibility. Jonathan Scott is a 2005 graduate who serves on the executive committee of the Ball State Alumni Council and is the head of brand and digital communications at Roche. Jonathan?
Thanks very much, Dwight, and it's great to be here with you all. Appreciate the thoughts that have been shared so far as well. Pardon me if I'm a little hoarse. I was invited to be a judge at Air Jam last night. So thank you, Peyton, and thank you to the team in the back that put that on. At the outset, I just want to share, I had a really interesting experience at Ball State where I, on Thursday nights, was quite a traveler, a nomad on campus. I would go from the Spectrum LGBTQ+ student organization meetings over to what was then Campus Crusade for Christ. Now it's called Crew because everything has a cool name. But at the time, it was really great to experience that. And with a friend, there were a few people who came with us between the two every time, between Spectrum and the Crew meetings as it is now. That was just a spirit of inclusiveness, of bring people along on your journey, even if they perhaps are not aligned with your journey. Consider that there's something different that you're putting into the world and something that you can share with others. My thoughts have evolved on, and my life has evolved in terms of spirituality and other factors associated with that since then. But it's really exciting to share that. When I came to Ball State, my professors and my peers, they challenged me so much in my worldview and my ways of thinking. It was relatively sheltered at the time. It was so different than it even is now. We are all always evolving. If you're not, stagnancy probably shouldn't or doesn't feel good to you. With that in mind, I learned so much in classes, sociology, psychology, political science, religious studies, communications, and certainly things in my journalism major. Cheers to everyone who's a CCIM grad. All right, a smattering of applause, we'll take that. Pardon me, I have cue cards because I have two values to speak to as well and did not memorize everything. But I'm inspired by everything I've heard from the fellow speakers on values so far. And for me, just as I grew into my more inclusive just outlook and behaviors, I realized at Ball State just a lot of dimensions of difference, a lot of areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion are also unseen. They're the invisible matters of that. Someone may be neurodivergent, they are a military veteran, they are LGBTQ+, as mentioned, they may be differently abled, all sorts of different dimensions and how people speak about those to their experience. Well, with that in mind, I want to emphasize that everything is not at face value for people. What you see at the surface is not their full being, it's not the totality of who they are and how they identify. Keep that in mind and know that people are on a journey, people are on a different course, and sometimes be sure to check in on your people. That is inclusion as well. Call people in because you don't know how everyone is doing. Mental health is a big aspect of this, and I benefited from some things like the counseling center at Ball State. That was a huge deal to me and partially responsible for why I'm here today. Very thankful for that. In closing, I want to share that, well, that's not in closing, but that's the part on inclusion. The part on social responsibility has to do with the fact that there is a world outside of us as well. Sometimes that is the aspect of, in Muncie, the fact that we are not a town and gown group. This is not, at Ball State, a city within a city. So the considerations of social responsibility with respect to Muncie Community Schools and the great partnership happening there with community leaders and those beacons of hope for the future, of the future leaders that Betsy talked about and that others talked about regarding what's happening in Teachers College is profoundly exciting. So keep that in mind as you think about your giving and you think about how you spend your time and your talent as well. It's all exceedingly important as we're raising the next generation of leaders. There is always going to be diversity of thought at the table. The important point is to be at the table, not just at the table also in rubbing elbows, but to be given a microphone like Hollis was decades ago, like we all are being given tonight, and we'll have great conversations afterward when we further fet the beginning of this, our Call to Beneficence campaign. But continue to think about diversity of thought and invite people in, call people in, rather than calling people out. That is inclusion and that is social responsibility at work. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jonathan. I am very excited about our next guest. She is a Ball State alum and a Broadway sensation. She just left San Francisco, where she starred in a new Broadway-bound musical based on the 1970s sensation Soul Train. Prior to that, she performed in the title role in Tina, the Tina Turner musical, in New York on Broadway. And we are all in for a treat because she is here to perform a hit song from her Broadway smash. Please help me welcome the incredibly talented Kayla Davion.
Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Oh, man. Yeah. So before I sing, I just want to talk a little bit. Is that all right? We've been doing a lot of talking tonight. We love to hear it, yes. So one of the greatest things that Ball State University taught me was to strive to be the person that you always desire to be, yeah? So for me, that meant holding strong to my moral values, even when life got a little hectic. I started out as a young girl who did not get into theater until my senior year of high school, and I ended up being the first person in the university to book Broadway before I left college. Thank you. And it was because of those models and those values from Ball State that actually got me the role. You know, I did the audition, yes, but when I got the call, it was a Wednesday, and I was supposed to be graduating school that weekend. And I actually got the call from Waitress, the musical on Broadway, that I had landed a role there. And they said, "Can you start the next day?" And I said, "Huh?" And they said, "Yeah, could you start the next day?" And I said, "No." I said that I was going to be the first person in my immediate family to graduate college and end up with a degree. So it was important to me and all of the things that I learned at Ball State to take that head on and to get my degree. And because of that, they said, well, wait. Finish, graduate college, and come on over. And that's exactly what I did. So I want to say thank you to Ball State for everything that you have ever done for me. I am so grateful. And I want to say to the Department of Theater and Dance, you are simply the best. I call you when I need you, my heart's on fire. Yeah. You come to wild and wild. Oh, you come to me, give me everything I need. You give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams. You speak the language of love like you know what it means. Oh, and it can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it stronger, babe. You're simply the best. Put your hands together, let me see it. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck on your heart, and I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Baby, I would rather be dead. Oh, in your heart, I can see the stars of every night and every day. Oh. In your eyes, I get lost, I get washed away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I can't be in a better place. Come on, you're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I've ever met.
Thank you, Kayla. That was amazing. Incredible students with extraordinary talent walk into our campus every fall at Ball State, but talent can only take you so far. Our students also need the support and guidance that our faculty and staff so willingly give. My next guests represent the best of what Ball State faculty have to offer. Please help me welcome Dr. Jake Sun, Assistant Professor of Interior Design, and Dr. Jennifer Palalonis, Director of the Center for Emerging Media Design and Development and the George and Francis Ball Distinguished Professor in Multimedia. Dr. Sun, Dr. Palalonis, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here. So we're excited to hear about your work. So Dr. Sun, why don't we start with you? Tell us a little bit about your research.
Great. When people hear that I teach interior design, most people might think that I teach my students how to choose the perfect wall color or furniture layout, but that's an interior decorator, right? So I met one of my students an hour ago. If you are still here, then can you say yes, if you agree? Oh yeah, there it is, yeah. So yeah, we also teach those kind of things as an interior design, but my students learn more than just the aesthetic aspect of interior design. So I teach my students about eco-friendly aspect of interior design, and I teach them about creating interior spaces that are like functional and eco-friendly and sustainable, those kind of design. And my research imaging how we can bring biomimicry to accomplish these goals.
Biomimicry.
Yes.
Okay, so for those of us who are uninformed, and I raise my hand as part of that group, what is biomimicry?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's one of the interesting fields, and nature is our most wondrous and sophisticated mentor, right? So in biomimicry, everyone can be inspired by nature to solve our problems. So so let me give an example. So in Africa, termites, that little ants, termites can make their mounds that can maintain a nearly constant internal temperature and humidity despite harsh environment in Africa. So if termites can make their mounds like such an energy efficient structure, why can't human, right? So, I mean, actually, we already built those kind of the buildings in Africa, not me, but as a human, yeah. We already have those kind of the like energy efficient structure in Africa, but we still need to examine their design and apply it to our building design. So this is just one example of inspiration coming from nature, and the inspiration for my research comes from polar bears.
Polar bears.
Yeah, polar bears. So, yeah,
Okay. Please explain.
Yeah, polar bears actually have transparent fur, not white fur. Did you know that?
No, so if you look close, you can see through it. It is not.
Right.
No, I did not know
that's
that.
the transparent fur. So
Still learning from Ball State.
yeah. So I'm interested in mimicking their design of polar bear fur, or like a refraction. Because of the powerful refraction metric in their fur, yeah, they can reflect the sunlight to like warm up their body. So I'm always interested in mimicking those kind of the strategies to explore ways to bring sunlight into the inner parts of the building, such as basement floor or interior spaces without windows. So, so if successful, probably this design can significantly reduce like energy consumption and even like increase occupant satisfaction. So if we fully develop this process, then in the future, probably we can bring sunlight from far distances. So I'm actually originally from South Korea, and so if successful, when it's the nighttime in the United States, we can bring sunlight from South Korea where it's daytime, and vice versa.
That's fascinating. It sounds like a science fiction movie.
Yeah, so yeah, in that way, so we can eliminate the need of electricity for lighting in the building. Yeah.
Wow. Mind-blowing. Dr. Palalonis, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
So I run the Center for Emerging Media Design and Development, which is in CCIM. And working in emerging media gives me the opportunity to really explore, we talk a lot about the intersections between technology and storytelling. And what's really unique about our program is that students in the second year earn almost all of their credit hours working on one large project in collaboration with some sort of external partner. And when I say project, I mean project. Our projects are really big, and our students get to work across the entire academic year on that project. So I'll give you a couple of examples. In 2017, we had a team of students that partnered with Circle of Blue, which is a nonprofit journalism group made up of journalists and climate scientists in Traverse City, Michigan. And they covered the global water and energy crisis. And they came to us and asked me to put together a team of students that could look at ways to engage young people in the story of the water and energy crisis and make sure that young Americans really start to understand the challenges that we're facing globally. And our students came up with lots of ideas. In the end, they developed a global social media campaign called My Water Story. And that project, in just, I think it was 3.5, 4 weeks' time, collected over 800 stories from 27 countries around the world about the value of water in your life. And it just so happened at the time that Pope Francis was hoping to host some World Water Day activities at the Vatican. They reached out to Circle of Blue because they have a pretty international footprint where climate science and water and energy is concerned. And Circle of Blue shared our student project with them. And the Vatican invited us to Rome to help run a World Water Day workshop. So we got to work behind the scenes at the Vatican for 3 days, and we actually got to sit on the papal platform 10 feet from the Pope while he gave the papal address on World Water Day in front of thousands of people.
Congratulations, that's phenomenal.
Thank you.
That's really remarkable.
Sometimes, you know, I tell that story, and even years later, I think, did that really happen? I can't believe that really happened. Since you brought up David Letterman, I'll tell you one other quick example of one of our projects. So, as you probably all know, when Dave retired from late night in 2015, he shared about 1,000 pieces of memorabilia from his life and career with Ball State. And President Mearns gave me the honor of kind of beginning to brainstorm and think about what we might do with that content. And so in 2018, we created the David Letterman Learning Experience. And every year, I get to engage a team of students that thinks about the intersections between storytelling, technology, and art. And they explore innovative approaches to technology like augmented reality, virtual reality, large touchscreen environments, And they use that collection of materials that Dave shared with the university to sort of as the inspiration for that work. And so I get to work with David Letterman.
Okay, so first of all, I'm jealous. And second of all, the students must love that.
Oh my
what
gosh,
an amazing
yes.
opportunity. I mean, you can't get that anywhere else.
Absolutely.
This is the only place you're going to have that experience.
Absolutely. And Dave comes back, you know, as you've seen over the years,
Of
and our
course.
students, and I get to work with him on projects. I have to say, too, I was an undergraduate here at Ball State in the mid-'90s. I was a journalism major, and I can remember very regularly girls piling into my dorm room and watching Dave on, you know, weeknight, late night television. And if I could have, there's no way I would have believed you.
Right.
If you'd have told me years later I'd
Isn't that
get to work with
amazing?
Dave on a project. So
That's awesome. You deal with emerging media, and because emerging media is emerging, how do you stay ahead of the curve?
Well, that's a good point. And, you know, I often say that I'm only about 3 steps ahead of my students, if that. We have to be really nimble in my program. We have to have a curriculum that is nimble and can respond quickly to changes in technology, changes in, you know, innovative approaches to storytelling, and where we can adopt that technology relatively quickly. To do that requires a lot of hard work and certainly a lot of support. I feel so grateful, you know, the environment that Dr. Joanne Gora sort of created with our immersive learning, our commitment to immersive learning at Ball State, and then that President Mearns has continued to support, has really made it possible for faculty like me to create these, you know, engaging, immersive, project-based experiences for students. There are a lot of ways in which the university supports that. I'm a board member with the Women of Beneficence, formerly the Discovery Foundation. Many of my colleagues are in the audience tonight. Women of Beneficence has been an incredible supporter of immersive learning projects over the years. There's also the Provost Immersive Learning Grant Series that I have benefited from and my students have benefited from over the years as well. So, you know, it really requires forward-thinking, innovative approaches to teaching and learning, and our Board of Trustees, our administration, and my colleagues really support that here, so I'm quite grateful.
That's great. Well, Dr. Paulonis, Dr. Sun, thank you so much for joining us. We're very grateful for the work that you're doing for the students in the university. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Now it's time to hear about some philanthropy at work impacting Ball State's campus and community.
Hi, I'm Emma Potter, a junior media major in the College of Communication, Information, and Media, specializing in sports broadcasting. Here at Ball State, the beauty of our campus is distinctive and just one of the many reasons students come to Ball State. As our campus continues to grow and evolve, let's take a visit from one end of our campus to the other, to some of the latest examples of how Ball State and its generous supporters showcase their dedication and commitment by answering our call to beneficence to create a place of welcome for students, faculty, staff, and community members alike. Like here, at the Alderdice Gates, a gift from Patrick Alderdice, a 1992 Ball State graduate, Jennifer, and daughter Emily. Dedicated in June of 2022, the beautiful gates, arch, and new water feature have created a welcoming atmosphere, connecting pedestrians and cyclists to the south end of campus, as well as the village. The gates open to walking and biking paths, which lead through the East Mall. The Alderdices generously funded the water feature incorporated into the gates, which Patrick dedicated in honor of his parents, Robert and Joanne Alderdice. We head north to the Grand Lawn and the newly incorporated Brown Family Amphitheater.
Opened in September, this facility provides a flexible outdoor venue for theater and musical performances, as well as a multitude of other activities for the enjoyment of both Ball State and Muncie communities. The amphitheater is a result of another generous gift from 1971 Ball State graduate Charlie Brown and his wife, Louise Tetrick. Charlie is a businessman and philanthropist, and also the lead donor for the Charles W. Brown Planetarium, the largest planetarium in Indiana.
From arts to athletics, we head to the Schumann Family Indoor Practice Facility, a gift from the late John Schumann, a 1971 Ball State graduate and former student athlete, and his wife June, whose name is also featured on the stadium. This sprawling 84,000 square foot facility provides critical indoor practice space for the Ball State football, softball, baseball, and soccer teams, while also providing opportunities for the entire campus and the broader community, including the Pride of Mid-America Marching Band. The indoor practice facility's regulation-sized competition field is named Briner Field in honor of 1969 Ball State graduate Ken Briner and his wife Peggy. From recently completed projects to an upcoming large-scale area revitalization, we head to the Village, the beloved near-campus commercial district. Working with development firm Fairmount Properties, Ball State plans to transform the Village into a best-in-class, multi-generational district driven by arts and culture, entertainment, and innovation. The comprehensive plan, which includes a new performing arts center, is also expected to include select service hotel and dining, retail, and gathering options for the area. The university's investment in the Performing Arts Center, the catalytic anchor for the revitalized commercial district, is expected to leverage approximately $80 million in private investment into the project. As we often tell our more than 213,000 alumni, your influence matters. Sharing your pride in the education and experience you received at Ball State enhances our reputation, which is critical to attracting students, outstanding faculty, and philanthropic support. These projects are just a few of the latest examples of generosity from our Cardinal family. At Ball State, your beneficence is enduring, and it provides the foundation for our students and graduates to pursue fulfilling careers and meaningful lives. Thank you, and go Cardinals!
Every time I come back to Muncie, the first thing I always do is drive through campus. I always want to see what's changed and what's new. It instills in me a sense of pride to see philanthropy at work on our beautiful campus. This video focused on a few of our current campaign priorities. Whenever you are in Muncie, take some time to drive through campus and make note of how the many generous benefactors throughout Ball State's history have impacted our campus. Now, if you've been keeping track, you know we have two more enduring values. Next up, Patrick Alderdice, class of 1992. Patrick is the CEO of Pennington & Company, chairman-elect of the Ball State Foundation, mountain climber, modern-day Robin Hood, dream maker, jack of all trades, and lifelong student, and I'm sure he didn't write any of that. He will be sharing his comments on gratitude. Patrick?
All right. That's what you get when you let me write the script. So, hey, thanks, Dwight. William Jennings Bryan said, "Destiny is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice." For me, I only had one choice, Ball State University. And I went ahead and applied, only to one university, Ball State. And Ball State was gracious enough to let me in. And for that, they provided me a strong sense of belonging, a support system. It was a success accelerator that I've never would have experienced at any other university. It was also a hell of a time to be at the university between 1987 and 92. I went ahead and took an extra year. And I know, Jeff, it's not surprising, but I said one more year. But only one is right. And so the reality is, the reason is because of athletics. I was here during, the Sweet 16 run of the NCAA tournament in basketball. Came so close to beating UNLV. Fast forward, 2001, I was at the Maui basketball tournament with some of our alumni there, and we beat number 2 Kansas, and then we beat number 4 UCLA, just to barely lose to Duke. But it was those experiences, and I should tell you too, I'm extremely grateful to have a great coach, Michael Lewis, that's going to lead our team again this year. But it's based off of those experiences. That I started thinking about what I wanted to do as far as if I had, the ability to go ahead and make a gift, about what I wanted to do with that gift. And so, fast forward, a gentleman gave me a book called The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly. Matthew Kelly wrote a book about basically the whole concept is how can you expect your employees to invest in the company's dreams unless you invest in their dreams first. And so we went ahead and looked at it, and we believed in it. And so now we have every single employee that come into the company, they got to come up with 100 dreams in their first week, and then prioritize their top 5 dreams. And then we hired a dream manager basically to meet with our employees and basically to hold them accountable to achieving their dreams. Now, it's not just professional, it's personal, spiritual, whatever they choose to have as their dreams, is that we want them to achieve one of their top 5 dreams. One of my dreams was to give, at that time, $100,000 to Ball State University. $100,000. Well, what I realized after talking to my friend Mark here to the left of me is that I didn't dream big enough. And so when they came and asked me to go ahead and consider a gift to support the new South interest as well as scholarship, went and thought about it. I thought about the experiences, and I thought about how grateful I am that Ball State accepted me and what a difference it's made in my life. Now, final thing is, I thought, one thing was just to go ahead and give. Mark then wanted me to go ahead and actually come up with some quote on the plaque that went into the gates. And he said, hey, do you have anything you want to say or think through? And I looked at the 2 ways as far as the sidewalk was concerned. And I thought through it and I said, hey, attending Ball State is a 2-way street. If you accept its advantages, you must live up to its obligations. Attending Ball State is a 2-way street. If you accept its advantages, you must live up to its obligations. I've accepted the many advantages that Ball State University has given me, and I felt an obligation to give, not just to give back my financial resources, but also my time as well, because I'm forever grateful for the gift that Ball State University has given me. Thanks.
Thank you, Patrick. And if any of you have not had a chance to experience Alderdice Gates, or even if you have, make sure and check them out. They really do provide a beautiful and inspiring entrance to our university. Thank you again, Patrick. Now, to round out our 7 enduring values, it's my pleasure to share a story about our last enduring value, courage. During my senior year at Ball State, it was time to secure an internship. And at this time, soap operas in the 80s were huge. People scheduled their classes around them. And I decided I wanted to be a soap opera writer. So Dave Smith, who was my professor and one of my mentors at the time, who sadly passed away last year, said he would reach out to General Hospital to see if he could get an internship for me. And he came back and said that they had responded and said they would only accept interns from USC and UCLA. I am somebody who does not take no as a final answer. I take it as a challenge and motivation. So I decided at that point I would not only be moving to Los Angeles, I would be getting an internship on a soap opera, and it would be General Hospital. So after much persistence, the day after I graduated from Ball State, I hooked my U-Haul up to the car, drove to Los Angeles, and started my internship on General Hospital. 3 months after my internship began, the producers on the show actually created a job for me. 3 years after that actually, I actually achieved my dream of becoming a writer on the show. So it actually came as a result of my time here at Ball State. I think back about that time when I did that, and it's actually kind of terrifying because I moved to a city I'd never been to. I didn't know anybody there. This was before email. This was before social media. This was before Zoom calls. It was just this wide-eyed kid from the Midwest in the entertainment capital of the world. And I realized I could do that because I was confident. And I had that confidence 100% because of my time at Ball State. And from confidence comes courage, and courage allows you to take chances, to take leaps, and actually to achieve your dreams. And so I've always been so grateful to Ball State for giving me the foundation that helped me launch my career. So thank you to Ball State for the courage. Ball State is a school whose reputation has continued to grow and improve. It was great when I was a student, and it keeps getting better. So much incredible work is being done to grow the reputation of a university and build upon the far-reaching work it is doing. It takes a strong and courageous leader to lead that effort, to set the vision that continues our forward momentum. President Mearns exemplifies the 7 enduring values of Ball State, but above all, he is truly a courageous leader. Honored guests, Please help me welcome President Jeffrey Mearns.
Thank you, Dwight. I appreciate your kind words, and good evening, everyone. As Dwight said, I have the great good fortune to serve as the president here at Ball State University. And the reason I say that I am so very fortunate is because, as we all know, our university has transformed the lives of more than 200,000 living men and women. People who have come to Ball State with their dreams and who have left with a degree that have launched them on fulfilling careers and meaningful lives. And so with your encouragement and with your support, our university will continue to transform lives for many generations to come. And I'm so very fortunate because I have the opportunity to participate in that extraordinarily worthwhile mission, and I have the opportunity to serve all of you. So in a few minutes, I'm going to tell you why Jennifer and I also chose to answer our call to beneficence in our own way. But first, I want to express my appreciation to a few people. How about another round of applause for Dwight for hosting the program? So well done. Thank you. Kayla. You are simply the best. To Mark Helmus, Lori Corvino, to Debbie Liniger, and to all of the foundation staff and all of my university colleagues who've been working on this campaign for many years, who've been working on this event for many months. I'm grateful to all of you for your commitment and your hard work. Thank you. To Randy Pond, and there are dozens and dozens of other volunteers who have served on various committees to support this campaign. Thank you for your encouragement, thank you for your guidance, and thank you for your generosity. Thank you, Randy, and all of the other volunteers. We're also joined this evening by many of the members of our Board of Trustees. Thank you for your support and guidance to me, and thank you to your service for this, to this outstanding university. Thank you. And now I want to express my appreciation to two of our past university presidents. You saw them in the first video this evening. And Dr. John Worthen is here with us tonight. During his service as our president, John led the successful completion of the university's first capital campaign. John, thank you for your leadership and your unwavering support for Ball State University for what is now nearly 40 years. John, thank you so much. And you also saw Dr. Joanne Gora. She's not with us tonight, but I think she's probably watching the live stream. She played a pivotal role in continuing to advance our university. And during her service as president, she led the first and largest capital campaign in the history, the last and the largest capital campaign in the history of the university. She presently serves on our foundation board and continues to give her time, her talent, and her insights to all of us. So Joanne, I hope you're watching. Thank you very much. So that last campaign, Ball State Bold, was indeed large and extraordinarily successful. The Bold campaign raised $210 million for our university, which is an all-time record. So as we consider, yep, you can give that a round of applause. So as we were preparing to launch this campaign, that total set a pretty high bar for us. But because we knew we were building on a strong foundation, the foundation of President Worthen, the foundation of President Gora, and so many other people, we knew we had the courage and the confidence to try to surpass that record. And I'm here to tell you we're off to a very good start. During the leadership phase of this campaign, we have already raised more than $227 million. And we've reached this extraordinary total already because of the philanthropic contributions of more than 49,000 distinct donors to the university. 49,000. So given this progress and because of this generosity, it's now my honor to announce that we have set a goal that is as ambitious as the collective aspirations of the entire university community. So tonight, in order to empower our students, to support our dedicated faculty and staff, and to enrich the lives of our friends and our neighbors in our community, we commit to raise more than $350 million. So as I mentioned a moment ago, we've already received contributions and commitments from so many people, from graduates, families, friends, fans, and philanthropic foundations and organizations. And as you know, each of these benefactors has a story about what inspired them to answer our call to beneficence. Throughout the program this evening, you've heard several of those stories. Over the past 3 years, as we embarked upon the leadership phase of this campaign, I traveled coast to coast, visiting with graduates and friends in cities and in venues all across the country. And in addition to alumni gatherings and even a couple tailgate parties, I participated in 36 salons. These were more intimate conversations, more intimate settings. And in those settings, I heard from women and men who were interested, and really not just interested, they were indeed eager to contribute and to give back to Ball State. At all of these events, I heard stories about the profound positive impact that our university has had on these graduates and their families. And they told me why, because of that impact, they have chosen to support this fundraising campaign. So during my fall convocation remarks just a couple of months ago, I shared just 2 stories of graduates who were inspired to support the university, just 2 among 49,000 stories. The first is about a graduate whose Chinese name was Bo, and for many years he has preferred to be called Paul. Paul was an international student who came to Ball State in the 1980s with just a few possessions. For a short time, he slept inside a closet of the Chinese food restaurant where he got his first job as a graduate student. But because of the guidance of a professor, like a couple of the professors you heard this evening, because of the guidance and leadership and encouragement of that professor, Paul was ready for the interview that launched him on a fulfilling and rewarding career, a career that spanned more than 3 decades. And so Paul recently decided to demonstrate his gratitude to our university by making a $1 million commitment to the campaign. And what he said is he decided to do that because Ball State in Muncie, Indiana, enabled him to achieve the American dream. The motivation behind that gift was meaningful. Just as meaningful was the heartfelt sentiment expressed by another graduate, Niall Harper. Niall delivered us a handwritten letter just in time for this year's One Ball State Day. And in the envelope, Niall included a check for $500. In his letter, Niall wrote how Ball State had prepared him and his wife Judith, who were both graduates of Teachers College, how the university and Teachers College had prepared them for their careers. Niall and Judith were married in 1955, and they raised 2 sons who then also went on to achieve their own professional success. In his letter, Niall wrote, quote, "Much of the meaningful accomplishments of our family have roots in the skills and values we learned at Ball State. We celebrated our 65th wedding anniversary 3 years ago. Now Judith is deceased, so our gift is a good memorial in honor of her life accomplishments. Thank you, Ball State." So Niall is just one of the more than 18,000 people who made a contribution to our university just last year. Each of these gifts is a testament to the enduring value of gratitude. Each gift has a story that is deeply personal to that individual and perhaps that individual's family. So if you'll give me just a moment, give me an opportunity to share why Jennifer and I also answered the call to beneficence, to explain how we were inspired to support this important initiative. So I always tell people that Jennifer and I are very fortunate. Throughout our lives, we've been blessed in so many ways. And our greatest good fortune was our parents. Our parents didn't lecture to us. Our parents showed us that to lead a meaningful life, we should share our good fortune with other people. Each day, through their actions, they showed us that life is a precious gift. And through their lives, our parents showed us that it was our moral obligation to share that gift with other people. Jennifer and I, we chose more than 6 years ago, we chose to come to Ball State because the enduring values that are represented by beneficence, those are the same values that our parents instilled in us, and those are the same values that we want to instill in our 5 children. More blessings. And as you know, at Ball State, as you've heard me say before, we define gratitude as our commitment to expressing our appreciation and to demonstrating our appreciation through our actions. So some of you may recall, and maybe you were with us back in September of 2017, shortly after Jennifer and I arrived at Ball State, we established a scholarship fund for Muncie Central graduates who enroll at Ball State and who, like my father, was the first in our family to attend college. My father was the first one in either of our families to earn a college degree. And we called that fund that Jennifer and I established, we called it the Mearns Proud Family Scholarship Fund, and we did it in honor and memory of our parents. And today, because so many other people contributed to our fund, which is extraordinarily gratifying to us, it has already provided financial support to 18 Muncie Central graduates who are Ball State students. All 4 of our parents have passed, but I believe that tonight they are pleased and they are proud. They're pleased and proud to know that their legacies will endure in the lives of Ball State graduates for many generations to come. And like me, and like Jennifer, our parents are so grateful that all of you have given us the opportunity to be a part of this very special university community. So as you leave here this evening, I ask you to reflect, as we have tonight, but I ask you to continue to reflect on the transformative impact that our university has had on you and your life and on your family. Reflect on the extraordinary impact that your generous philanthropy can have on the lives of so many other people, the lives of our students and their families. Please reflect on the extraordinary impact that your generous philanthropy can have on the contributions of our dedicated faculty and staff, and also on the vitality of the communities that we serve. Please reflect on how those contributions can have an impact for many generations to come. Please answer our call to beneficence. Thank you very much.
I'm on my way, and I won't turn back.
I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, oh yes, I'm on my way. I'll ask my sisters to come with me. I'll ask my sisters to come with me. I'll ask my sisters to come with me. I'm on my way, oh yes. I'm on my way. Before another sunrise wakes me, before another night is gone, I'll find out where this highway takes me. You know I've got to travel, I'm on my way. My troubles all behind me. Back there where I climbed on board. I'm on my way, and I swear I won't turn back. I'm on my way, oh yes, I'm on my way. And as I'm going along, I carry with me, promises that can't go wrong. As I travel on my way, as I travel on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. As I travel on, as I travel on.
I came to learn, to grow, to conquer, to thrive. I came to teach, to surprise, to prosper, to rise, to fly, to fly. And I have learned and grown and conquered and thrived, and I have taught and surprised and prospered, and I'll rise to fly, to fly. I'll rise up high one day. Fly, fly, fly away. No need to say goodbye, goodbye. You're in my heart to stay. With Betty as my guide, I'll find my way. And even when skies are gray, I'll keep my
thank you for joining us tonight for The Call. As you make your way to the exit, please join us in the reception area for the wrap party, including desserts and live music.